I'm gonna let you in on a little secret.
My name's Sam. This is Tips for Tuesday. Let's do this. Today we're going to talk about beaches. Specifically, California beaches. Did you guys know there's actually no such thing as a private beach in California? Say what? That's right, I'll say it again. There is no such thing as a private beach in California. Now, I spend a lot of time down here in Malibu, and I know exactly what you're thinking. Sam, I've been to Malibu. Half the beaches I can't get to because they're all blocked off by the people that live there. And you would be correct. Here's usually the way it works. If you own a home on the beach, usually the dry part of the beach, the nice, hot, dry sand, is usually part of your property still. However, by rule of thumb, usually anywhere the sand starts becoming wet, that's the area that's called the mean high tide line.
It's a mean high tide. It's gonna beat you up and take your lunch money.
No, not that kind of mean high tide. We're talking about mean, average, median, that kind of mean. You know, the basic math that you learned in 6th grade and now completely forgot about. But seriously, let's get back to the issue. On all beaches in California, if you're walking at or below the mean high tide line, you're walking on public state beach. So if one day you and your bros decide to go surfing, you're getting your tan on, and all of a sudden Clint Eastwood comes out of his beachfront property and he goes,
"Get off of my beach."
Remember, you're in Malibu in this scenario, so it's very likely this can actually happen to you. What do you do when you're in this scenario? Well, there's a few different options. First option is you're walking on the wet part of the beach, your feet are touching wet sand, you're on public state beach, most likely, and you're completely in the clear, and you tell Clint Eastwood to go f*** himself. Second scenario, you're not walking on the wet part of the beach, you're walking right in front of his property, it's still on his property line, you're basically getting your tan on in his backyard, and he has a complete right to blow you away with that shotgun. Third scenario, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky. Stay with me. So there's this government organization called the Coastal Commission. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with it. They're in charge of making the rules and enforcing all the laws when it comes to beaches in California. They've basically been waging a war with beachfront homeowners for many, many years. From the homeowner's perspective, you paid $15, $20, $50 million to live right on the beach to get that prime property, and they want as much of that beach to be theirs as possible. From the Coastal Commission's point of view, they want as many people as possible to be able to enjoy the beaches. So they're waging this war with homeowners who are trying to illegally block these beaches off to the public, and the Coastal Commission wants to open up these beaches to the public as much as possible. Remember, all beaches in California are at least part public beach, so you can't just block the entire beach off. To the Coastal Commission's credit, a lot of these homeowners are going above and beyond and making sure you can't get to their pretty little beach. Some of these guys are putting up fake no parking signs in the neighborhood. They're building fences or gates where they're not supposed to keep people out of the beach areas. They're building their properties all right next to each other so you can't walk in between the properties to get to the beaches. All that kind of stuff. Okay, here's where it gets a little bit tricky. One sneaky little thing that the Coastal Commission started doing is negotiating with some of these homeowners. Remember, a lot of these guys have a lot of money and they're trying to build custom homes on the beach. They're trying to add on to their custom homes. They want to build a pool in their home, all this kind of stuff that you need permits for. So one thing the Coastal Commission started doing is telling homeowners, hey, we'll give you the permits you want, but you have to let people use the part of your beach that's part of your property line. And a lot of these guys took the deal. That's made it super confusing for the regular person. Basically, when these homeowners took these deals with the Coastal Commission, it created what is called an easement. What's an easement? We'll talk about that in the next video. Basically, to keep it simple for today, the homeowners creating an easement like this for the public just makes it okay for you to walk there and makes it completely legal for you to be there. I'm actually including a couple links down below in the description. Basically, the Coastal Commission has started mapping out for people what homes have these types of easements, and they've included some really prominent beaches like your Broad Beach in Malibu, Carbon Beach in Malibu, and beaches all over California. So you can go to those sites, you can try to find those maps, And the maps sometimes will tell you the access points to get to the so-called private beaches. So what you can do is you can walk down onto the beach, stay on the wet part of the sand, the mean high tide line, right? So you're completely in the clear, and then you find one of these homes that has one of these easements, and then you basically just camp out in somebody else's backyard and get your tan on. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video this week. I'd really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel. I do try to post these once a week, and I do sometimes post an extra video on my Facebook page as well. Anyways, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you next week. Sampa out!